You hear about one child that we rescued, found hanging upside down on the ceiling. She had been beaten up. She was only, 5 years old, and she had been beaten up badly, had deep wounds, just because she came home without alms. Her uncle had beaten her up and, of course, raped her, and she was just 5 years old.
He was hard on rugby, but he's a very intelligent boy. He comes from a very dysfunctional home. His father is dead now, but he was on drugs and all that. So the whole family was affected.
A beautiful girl. She's 19 years old now, but she's been so badly raped by her father and apparently beaten. The father would hit her often on the head, that she has seizures. Part of her brain has been damaged and she can't go to school.
There's this kid, Mati, who was born without hands, without feet, without a tongue. And apparently, as a fetus, they tried to abort Mati. So when he was born without his hands, his feet, and his tongue. There's the story of JR.
He keeps climbing on the window to steal or going to the neighbors. And one time he ran away. "What are you doing? You're my son!"
One dark, rainy night, a good friend of mine mentioned to me that there was this home with a couple foreigners who were taking care of some children. They didn't have any money left to buy food for the following day. So we drove through the dark streets of Bacolod and we got lost. We almost fell into a canal. When we got to the house, I was really touched because it was so dark, and yet all I could hear was the laughter of the children. Phil Seckler called me up and said, "Anna, we're renting this house, but now the bank is taking it away. Now they're going to sell it, so we need to move out."
Now, she was asking me whether I knew of any houses that were for rent that could handle such a large family.
We looked all around Bacolod. Rent was just too expensive for a big house. So finally we found a nice house, big enough. They were asking for $2 million. How am I gonna find that money now? And my good friend John Gayoso said,
Anna, you know a lot of people who have money, especially in Manila. Why don't you send a text blast to your friends and see what will happen?
I sent the text message. I remember very well. It was 5-page long message. To my surprise, a very good friend of mine from Manila, and also we work together, suddenly just said, Anna, what are you getting yourself into? So I explained to her, the situation of the children. And she said, okay, I'll help you. My lawyer will get back to you tomorrow. And a friend calls me and said, Anna, where do you want us to deposit the money? And I said, oh my God, may I know first how much is it going to be? And to my surprise, she said, she's buying you the whole house. I mean, I really fell to the floor. Another friend responded and said, Anna, I too want to help you buy the house. And me so innocently said, but we bought it already. We don't need any more money. And she said, Anna, but what about the needs of the children? She gave another $1 million, also with no conditions. I was blown away, honestly. I couldn't believe it that just a text message to my friends was enough to get the ball rolling. And so many others responded. So again, John, my advisor, said, Anna, this is it. Something big is happening here. So now you really need to put up a foundation. We do bring them to the attention of the DSWD. And what's very sad is that most abusers go unpunished. And these abusers are usually the fathers, the uncles, grandfathers, and friends of the family who abuse on these poor children, and nobody really is out to protect these children. what I'm happy to see in these homes is that the transformation in them. They start very afraid, and little by little you can see they start opening up. I have heard some of the older kids say that they were born again because they were given the chance to start a whole new life again with this new set of parents. And that there are good parents and that there is a good life for them where they really feel safe. And that these parents now are willing to fight for them.
Aside from the regular expenses that the homes incur, of course there will always be emergencies.
They came to us very weak. Many of them, in fact, very sick. So medicines, we do spend a lot of money, and we do have to spend a lot on hospitals, doctors. And then, of course, the other very important thing that we need is to really be able to send these kids to school. It's nice to say that all the children are going to school now. They're doing so well in school. One of them that we took from a home because she had no parents and was living with her grandparents. At first, we thought she was a bit delayed. And oh my God, now she's one of the best in school. In fact, the teachers say that she might just graduate top honors. You never know. And the minute you give them this opportunity, they really bloom. They really take their studies very seriously. We do need a lot of help from social workers.
One very pressing need is psychological assistance. These children are so damaged. They have grown up knowing a life that no child should even have known. Violence, hurt, sexual abuse, physical abuse is a characteristic of their lives before, and not just something they saw in TV. That's how damaged these children are. In many cases, their parents have also been abused as children, and now their children are being abused by these same parents because there is what we call a chain of pain, and we need to break that chain of pain. We all have different levels of giving, but it's not really what or how much they give. It's that they give.
The one that really blows me away are those who, from the market. I get a phone call, Mom, I only saved 100 pesos for this week, but I really want to give it to you. And sometimes I even tell them, but keep it for yourself. And they say, no, Mom, this is for your children. It was this lady from San Carlos. She said, this is all I have. And it was a 1,000 peso bill. And I said, oh my God, that's a lot,